Good morning, Playmakers. We are spoiled as sports fans with the amazing games and seasons we have had this year. NBA playoffs are in full swing, MLB season starting, and the NFL offseason is giving us plenty to talk about, and NHL playoffs making this last push very interesting. With me today, I have Maya and Jackson to talk about it all, but guys, let's start it off with the NHL. What are you guys looking forward to the most in this final playoff push?
I'll start. I think there's so many different outcomes you could have, especially in the Western Conference right now. Everybody's so tightly packed in, and there's even a team in Vegas that isn't in the playoffs right now that could still get in. They're just 4 points behind Dallas right now. So there's still so many different outcomes that could happen, plus all the potential matchups that we could have. We could have Calgary and Nashville, which has been the two complete opposite ends of the spectrum, where Calgary has dominated all season, but Nashville's beat them every single time in the regular season. We could get Edmonton and Los Angeles, a battle of two teams out west, where you have the biggest star in the game in Connor McDavid with Edmonton, but a bunch of grindy players with Los Angeles that have came together and made this team a playoff team. Colorado, Dallas, that's a blowout series if we get that. And then another series in the West I'm looking forward to potentially is Minnesota and St. Louis. St. Louis has won every single game in that series this year, but who knows? But the West is what I'm looking forward to the most going down the stretch.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Vegas because you talked about they're a little 4 points behind Dallas, and my team is going to be the Dallas Stars. Everyone knows this is going to be a Texas show since I'm back. The Dallas Stars I honestly am in a toss-up with talking about the Dallas Stars because every single year we get to this point as fans and you're like, okay, we're on the cusp. Okay, we're in the bubble. And then you lose in the first round or the wild card game, and that's where Dallas is right now. They have 3 players that are trying to push this team into that bubble in the wild card game, but it's so unexpected that you can't say yay, and you also can't be like, I don't know what to do with this team. So I'm just going to say Dallas Stars. I'm sticking with that. But, of course, I have to give a shout-out to our floor director with the St. Louis Blues. I think that this can be another team that's going to stand out. And I know Gabe, if I didn't say this, would be upset with me. So I'm going Dallas Stars or St. Louis. Caleb?
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention how all of our cast is fans of very good NHL teams. As she mentioned, G. Shiesty with the Blues, Maya with Dallas, Lily with the Avalanche, Jackson with the Canes. I just love that we can all be excited for the NHL playoffs.
Definitely.
And nobody's upset. But as the NHL season comes to an end, the MLB season is just getting started. Last week we gave you our award predictions, but with enough games to see these teams in action, who are you guys looking forward to seeing as sleeper teams that may be flying under the radar this year?
I'm going to start off. And I'm going to go with the Boston Red Sox. Shout out to Gus Balow from Boston. He had to coach me up on this topic a little bit. And this is the only reason why I'm going to say they're a sleeper. Because everyone right now may be like, well, the Sox are doing great. Why are they your sleeper team? For the simple fact that everyone knows they're either going to be amazing in a game or they're going to fall short in that first, second inning and not come out with the fire that they need, which makes them a sleeper team because I'm going to call them the roller coaster team, all right? They're going to get high, and in the mid-season, we can see them fall a little bit, but I feel like the way you start should be the way you finish. So the Boston Red Sox start hot, end hot, and this is a playoffs team, maybe contender for the World Series, but it may be too early to even mention that. But definitely going for the Boston Red Sox as my sleeper team.
Yeah, I consider a lot of teams here. You got the Mariners, you got the Red Sox, as you mentioned, the Angels, the Rockies have started strong, but ultimately I fell on the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay.
In 2021, these players went off. Reigning MVP Bryce Harper had 35 home runs plus 300 batting average. Nick Castellanos, 34 home runs plus 300 batting average. Kyle Schwarber, 32 home runs, 266 batting average. Gene Segura, 14 bombs. JT Realmuto, 17 bombs. Rhys Hoskins, 27 bombs. Didi Gregorius can get hot sometimes. The rotation, Zach Wheeler, second in Cy Young last year. Aaron Nola, great pitcher, and Ranger Suarez is on the up and up. I am super excited to watch this team. As a huge Bryce Harper fan, I really want to see them actually break through, make the postseason, make a run. If they can figure out how to field a ground ball, then they're going to be just fine, in my opinion.
My one concern with the Philadelphia Phillies is pitching. They're very front heavy. They have a fantastic 1-2 with Nola, and even Eiflin's played really well this year. But when your third or fourth best pitcher is Jose Alvarado, it concerns me. But a team that I think that this is the other team that has pitching getting in their way, but they have so many bats and so much talent as the Los Angeles Angels. I mean, when you have Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout, and you can roll those two out every single day because Ohtani can play DH now. That is, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Those are two of the top 5 best players in the MLB right now. I mean, they're very, like I said, Angels are a very front-heavy team, but still, when you play in a division like the Angels do, if you can get past the Houston Astros, this team can make a lot of noise. And they are ahead of the Astros right now in the division, but we're 11 games in, division standings don't really matter that much. But from what I'm saying, I like what I see for the Angels so far. Mike Trout's going to swing the bat better. He's hitting like 245 right now. He'll swing the bat better. Ohtani's swinging 216 right now. He'll swing it better. I mean, it's such a long season, and we've only played 11 games, but I like what I've seen from the Angels so far.
Also, let's be happy that we're having baseball season right now,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And one thing about all these players is after being a part of a lockout and hopefully getting what they wanted to continue the season or start the season, they're coming out with real swings and pitches to make sure that we get the show that we want this year.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I wanted to mention about the Angels, baseball is the only sport where you can have 2 top 5 players in the league and still not make the postseason. I hope the Angels break through. I want to see it for Mike Trout. I want to see it for Shohei. But after the break, the NFL offseason is reaching its main event, the draft. We get bold after the break.
Hey, Addison, do you want to play Barbie? I'm busy right now. Hey, Regan, do you want to play outside?
Not today, maybe tomorrow.
The NFL draft is only a week away, and I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait any longer. As unpredictable as it may be, what are your guys' bold predictions for this year's draft?
Jackson, I'll let you start.
I think my bold prediction is Sauce Gardner falls out of the top 10.
Sauce Gardner?
I don't know why, but I don't know why. I love Sauce Gardner, but why am I seeing mock drafts with Sauce Gardner not in the top 10? I don't understand why. Sauce Gardner is a fantastic cornerback. He never let up a touchdown at Cincinnati. The best statistical cornerback in this year's draft isn't being picked in the top 10 according to mock drafts. And obviously, as fans, that's what you have to go off of because you don't know what these front offices are thinking. But don't be shocked if that happens on draft night where you see Sauce Gardner be a double-digit pick. I don't understand it. I'm just saying that's what I think will happen.
Sauce Gardner is tough to mock because he could go as high as 3. I think he could possibly go 2. I don't think he will. Texans could pick him at 3.
No.
The Jets could pick him at 4. The Giants, I think the Giants, if he's available, will pick him with 5 or 7. But yeah, I guess I could see, pass rusher, left tackle combo could slide in there. Seahawks could take him. But yeah, I guess he could fall out of the top 10, but he's my top corner. My bold prediction is that 2 receivers are going to go in the top 10.
Oh, that actually
So
is
let's go-
a bold prediction.
Let's go through the teams. Are the Jaguars going to take a receiver? No.
I would hope not.
The Lions, I wouldn't be against it,
No, they have
but
so
they
many more
won't.
problems. No.
The Texans, I also wouldn't mind, but
I
they
think
won't.
The Texans,
Jets have the opportunity to take one at 4. I've seen a lot of buzz with them taking one at 4, but more likely 2 at 10. The Giants, I could see it. Galladay, Tony, Shepard, aging. Darius Slayton's decent, but they need a true difference maker.
They need
Panthers
offensive
won't.
line.
Giants again. Falcons will.
yeah,
Falcons will. They will
definitely
take
need.
Garrett Wilson, I think, at 8. Seahawks won't, and I already mentioned the Jets at 10. You see these emerging wide receivers with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. All these recently have the potential to be top 10 receivers in the league right off the bat. I think teams are seeing this. I think teams are going to jump on board with this. I can see teams jumping up in the draft to do it. Some guys I think can get drafted in the top 10. Jamison Williams, Garrett Wilson. I think Drake London is getting a lot of buzz.
Yeah,
honestly,
he is right now.
We'll talk about him later.
That's so unfortunate.
I don't like Drake London in the top 10.
I don't
I think
either.
he fits with the Jets really well with Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. But other than that, I don't think Drake London should be a top 10 pick.
Drake
I
London
love
should be a
Jamison Williams. I
first-round
love
pick.
Garrett Wilson. But that is just I think it's just going to happen. Wide receivers are getting more and more important and more young in this NFL.
The
that we
market's
live
hot.
in. It is.
The market is hot, and now for my bold prediction, we're going to talk a little bit about history within the draft and what it should be moving towards. And I want to highlight HBCUs. In the last 2 NFL drafts, there have been, I think, only 1 HBCU player that has gone. And I know everyone knows about Jackson State because of Deion Sanders and him going in, rebuilding the program, rebranding, and kind of shining a light on these HBCUs. And there are amazing players that get to go to HBCUs. We saw Travis Hunter that committed to JSU, which was one of the top-ranked recruits in this class, and this is what we're moving to. I don't think we should shy away from choosing HBCU players for whatever reason that might be. So I have Will Adams and Jermaine Martin. Will Adams is from Virginia State. He has speed. He has the size. He knows exactly what he's doing when he gets out of the gate, and that's what I think any team would be lucky to have. And here's the reality. We know this about the NBA draft and the NFL draft, that it really doesn't matter what rounds you go in. It matters when you get there. How are you going to be efficient? How are you going to be able to be a leader on and off the field? And can you make a difference coming in? My second player is Jermaine Martin, and I think he has a story of a lifetime. And coming from an HBCU, being able to transfer from Coastal and coming into NCAT, he's a force to be reckoned with as a running back. And I know we're going to get into all those conversations later, but I think that everyone needs to know that the HBCUs deserve this spotlight, deserve the highlight, and that's my bold prediction. Let's get some players in here that are different and not the status quo that you're looking for. Give them a chance.
No, I love it. I love it. But as we said, the draft is wildly unpredictable. But what is not unpredictable is how fun this game is. We played it last week. We are playing it again, this time with NFL draft options. Let's spin the wheel of superlatives. Barry, go ahead and spin the wheel.
Spin it.
What do we got? What's our first one?
Oh, it's close. What is that?
Oh, I can't see. I don't have good eyes.
Most likely to fall. Who's going to fall in the draft?
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, I'll start.
Okay.
Mine is Kyle Hamilton. I love Kyle Hamilton.
So
I think
unfortunate.
he's a top 5 player in the draft, but he's a safety. Teams don't value the safeties. He was kind of slow at workouts, ran like a 4.6 40. Teams aren't going to like that, but if you watch film, he looks like the fastest player on the field. Remember, Jerry Rice ran a 4.6 40, so if that says anything to you, I think game speed is a lot different than 40 time. But what do you guys think?
Ooh, most likely to fall. Unfortunately, I think it's Evan Neal, in the sense that Evan Neal should go number 2 or number 3.
Okay.
I think he'll go number 8 to Atlanta. Unfortunately, I think Evan Neal is he's the best offensive lineman in the draft. It's unfortunate, but I think Evan Neal is going to from the sense that Evan Neal could be the number 1 overall pick, he's going to fall to number 8-ish.
So what?
Ooh.
I want to ask this. So what do
Go
you
ahead.
think
That is
the
a
Texans do at 3 then? You think they go Kwani? You think they go something else?
Yeah, they go.
And then the
Kwani.
Giants. You don't think you think the Giants pass on Neal too?
Yeah, I do. I don't know.
That'd be
Because
tough.
it's so hard to predict what the New York Giants are going to do in the
That's
draft.
true.
They
That's
never
true.
go with the chalk pick. So
New front office though.
this is true. So, it's so hard to predict. But I think if I could see one guy sliding that I didn't say, I said Sauce Gardner already.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not Sauce Gardner, I think it would end up being Evan Neal,
That's
unfortunately.
interesting. That's interesting.
Okay, I'm going on the other side. I'm going to say Kenneth Walker. I think with the running backs this year, it's kind of iffy on who's going to go high, who's going to go low. And I'm going to, if the wheel gives me a chance to talk about my first running back, I'll talk about him. But I think it's a toss-up between him and Kenneth Walker. So it all depends on how that first team plays it. If they want the running back of, okay, I'll give it to y'all, Breece Hall out of Iowa State, or if they want to choose Kenneth Walker. But I think he's going to fall if he doesn't get to go before Breece.
All right. Well, let's spin that wheel again.
Spin it.
Let's get another topic up here.
Dun, 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 dun.
What do we got?
Most likely
Dun, dun, dun.
to go number 1
Who's going to go
overall.
number 1 overall? I'll start because I got an
Ooh.
interesting one.
Don't say
Turn
it.
me up.
Trayvon
No.
Walker.
Oh, come
Trayvon
on.
Walker
He literally wanted
is
to go
the
first,
first
you should steal my
overall
answer.
pick.
No.
He fits perfectly with the Jaguars. Jaguars have 2
Yes.
edge guys. Kylavon Chason off one edge, Josh Allen off the other. You get Trayvon Walker in there, has all the potential in the world, immediately can play inside, which is exactly what they need. He's got the athleticism to move out once he gets this technique down. I think it's a perfect fit. I like him over Aiden Hutchinson. I like Kayvon Thibodeau over him, but I think a lot of people are doubting what Kayvon Thibodeau can do wrongfully. And then Trayvon Walker is just getting all this hype for his athleticism, his length, and his capability in the run game for sure.
I have to second you on Trayvon Walker. Come on now. Georgia, he has to be a dog if he goes to Georgia, y'all. And that #1 pick is his, sealed, signed, delivered. The Jaguars need him. They need him to show up and show out. And he doesn't need to go to a team that's just already got it all. He needs to go to the worst team right now so he can give them some energy and something to look forward to if you go to a Jacksonville game.
See, I need to be the person that thinks a little bit different, and that's
God.
certainly me. I don't care who you are. If you're Jacksonville, you need to draft offensive line. It does not matter if you have a great defensive line. If your quarterback who's 24 years old is running for his life every single play, and your running back is James Robinson, what good does that do you? It doesn't do you any good. I think if the Jags were to draft somebody on the offensive line, I don't care if it's Evan Neal, I don't care if it's Ekwonu or Ekwonu, I can't say his name.
Ekwonu.
That. It doesn't matter who it is, you got to draft somebody on the offensive line. I like Trevor Lawrence way too much for him to be just getting drilled in the backfield. So that's my pick. Hopefully they draft O-line. They probably won't because it's Jacksonville. But I rest my case.
All right, let's go again. Let's get a couple more in.
Couple more in the wheel.
Dun, dun, dun,
I think I'm going to have to make a wheel song for y'all.
I already just got this one, I think.
Oh, spin it again, spin it again. Got
Spin
most
it
likely to fall again.
Dun, dun, dun.
And biggest sleeper. Let me give you a sleeper. Maya talked about running backs. I have got a big sleeper. Tyrion Davis-Pierce, running back out of LSU. Rare mixture of speed and power. He's insane. He's going unnoticed because of LSU's struggles last year. Running backs, as Maya said, are very unpredictable in the draft. You never know. I like Breece Hall as my #1 back, but after that, it's kind of iffy. Maybe Kenneth Walker's my #2. We'll get into that actually after the show, but we'll talk about that later. Tyrion Davis is legit, and I think teams should stop sleeping on him.
Okay, I'm going to say my sleeper as the same as like my higher than expected. That's going to be Jordan Davis. I'm going Georgia again because he needs to be seen. I mean, I was in between this one, and this might be a hot take, or I might get some people that agree with me that in the next 5 to 7 years, Jordan Davis could be our new generation Aaron Donald. He's fast. He gets it done whenever he needs to, and everybody loved Jordan Davis during the championship game, and I can see that going into the NFL as well. Jordan Davis, sleeper, and higher than expected. Rest my case.
Yes, I'm all for Jordan Davis. That would have been my pick, but Maya took it. So then I have two. I have Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. I love Jahan Dotson. You didn't put him in your top 5, Caleb, for receivers, but he's certainly right near there. This is a loaded wide receiver class. So, I mean, I understand where it comes from, but Jahan Dotson for sure. And then I'm going to go Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. I think he's one of the better offensive linemen in this draft. And then, I mean, the tape doesn't lie. I mean, he's the reason why Iowa's, running back in their poor excuse for a quarterback this year didn't get killed. So, yeah, Tyler Linderbaum and Jahan Dotson.
I like Tyler Linderbaum, but how high do you really take a center?
Not high. I know.
That's
where
the problem
that
for
becomes
me.
a sleeper,
but
though.
That's true.
That's why it's
but
a sleeper pick.
I could spin this wheel literally all day.
True.
But after the break, we get down to the truth in the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs have been nothing short of spectacular. Upsets flying, dominant performance, you name it, they have it. But how much of this is fact and how much is fluke? We're going to determine just that with this new game called Truth or Fluke. So starting with the Western Conference, the Suns lost last night to the Pelicans to even up the series. Is the Pelicans win the truth as they will keep the series competitive, or will the Suns dominate the rest of this series, leaving this game a fluke? Truth or fluke?
This is definitely a fluke for New Orleans. Let's preface this. Devin Booker had 31 in the first half. And then he, did something to his hamstring. The Pelicans haven't been in the playoffs, what is it, since 2018. Brandon Ingram is probably the joke of the NBA. That's just my opinion. I think he can.
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Way too early in the morning
Brandon
to be swinging.
Ingram is finally finding his footing, but it's kind of too late at this point. New Orleans is going to draft some big people and get some people within free agency in the upcoming year. But this is not a real playoff team. I'm sorry.
I really like New
Fluke.
Orleans. I really like Brandon Ingram. I don't think he deserved all that, but yeah, I do think it's a fluke. I think the Suns still win in 5 or 6. They're just too good. I don't think the Pelicans are ready for this.
It's the Suns. Like I said it last episode. They've been the best team in the NBA the entire season. The record's shown that. The film's shown that. I Phoenix should win this series in 5. Maybe New Orleans can steal one, but you never know. I mean, the Smoothie King Center's a magical place. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, the Grizzlies even the series last night against the Timberwolves in dominant fashion. Ooh. Was the Timberwolves win in the first round the truth, or was last night's win the true showing of the series truth or fluke?
That was a classic Minnesota Timberwolves game right there, scoring under 100. Oh, man. That was the ugly horse showed its head last night in Memphis, and Memphis took advantage of it. Yeah, that was a complete game from Memphis. They used just about everybody on their bench last night. And when a team can open up a bench like that, especially in the playoffs, that means you're in a whole lot of trouble. Minnesota's got to steal one, or not steal one, but they got to get one at home in order to keep this series competitive. And if they do, we have a different story. But if Memphis goes to Minnesota, takes 2 games there, goes back to Memphis up 3-1, you can put this series to bed.
Okay, I'm in between a 50-50 truth or fluke for the simple fact that right now you have old against new. Memphis is the best new team out right now. They have the youngest guards. They know what they're doing. Ja is back. He's being a force to be reckoned with on the court. But here's the thing about Minnesota. Patrick Beverley is the first Draymond Green of the era of basketball that we've been able to see. He knows how to get inside your head and make you think you're doing bad because that's the Pat Bev way. But here's the thing. The only reason why they beat the Clippers in their play-in series is because Pat had a chip on his shoulder. Beyond that, I don't know how this series will actually end. I don't think that Karl Anthony Towns is ready for the playoffs. I think he just goes off of, he's great in season. Well, he's great in season for Minnesota, but he's not ready to actually compete. And Anthony Edwards, let me tell you, him and Pat together, great, but they need some more additions to this team for them to actually be a contender in playoffs.
Yeah, I like this series a lot. I think it's going to be very competitive. I think the Timberwolves are going to keep doing what they need to do. But the Warriors have been dominant over the Denver Nuggets, causing havoc on both ends of the floor. Is this Warriors team the truth, or will the Nuggets come back? Truth or fluke?
Just sit here on my.
This shouldn't even be a question.
I told you so. I said the Warriors in 5. If they don't win in 5, I'd be very disappointed. Gabe Daniel thinks 4. I don't know, but
I can see them sweeping. Sorry, Lily. I know everyone's like looking back.
So I have to change my MVP argument because I watched how terrible the Denver Nuggets are. That was the worst first half of basketball I've seen from a playoff team in a very long time.
Oh, wow.
The Denver Nuggets are probably, like I said, Caleb's probably right. They are competing for a top 5 pick without Nikola Jokic. They are terrible. And the Warriors show they are the better team in this series. They're going to walk away with this series. I'm not concerned about it.
Warriors definitely is the truth. I know this might upset some people, but trading RJ Hampton is the worst thing Denver could have done last year. And if RJ Hampton is in this mix and a couple of more picks, it still wouldn't really be a series, but I would give a little bit more hope to Denver. But I'm with you guys. That MVP talk, it's a little silent. He should be glad that playoffs does not count in his voting.
Yeah, Draymond is making him look
Draymond's
at least respectable.
At least respectable.
Yeah, I think the Warriors are the truth. But the Mavericks, still without star Luka Doncic, were led by Jalen Brunson's 41 points on Monday night and Maxi Kleber's 8 3-pointers. Are the Mavericks here to keep the series interesting even without Luka?
Yes.
Or was Monday night's win just a fluke?
Yes, because Maxi Kleber's going to hit 8 threes and Jalen Brunson's going to score 41 again. That will not happen again. Utah, as much as I don't like Utah, as much as I don't like either of these teams, I think Utah will still win this series in 6 games.
No, Utah is the absolute fluke of the playoffs. We've seen it for the past 3 years. Donovan Mitchell cannot do anything past the first round, and if he gets to the second round and is able to do something, that's the real fluke. But no, this Utah team, I'm getting tired of seeing the same 5 players every single year think that they're doing something. Perimeter shooting, we're all scared, and then nothing happens. Luka, I think, is expected to play in round 3 in the 3rd or 4th game, but that's all they need. I mean, I like the Mavs defense over Utah, but I don't think Utah is really going to be able to do this. This is going to be our only 7-game series in the first round.
Yeah, I think this Mavericks team can keep it close, but we're going to rapid fire these last Eastern Conference teams.
Cool.
All right, Heat. They won another convincing game over the Hawks.
Yeah, they're real.
Do you think the Heat of the truth?
Yep.
All right, I agree. Heat of the truth.
Jimmy Butler.
What's next? Celtics.
No.
Celtics and Nets. This series is legit. I think this is how the series is going to go. I think it's going to go to 7.
The Celtics
No, I
are
got
real,
them
but
going
they
to
got
6.
a tough draw.
Celtics 4-2 against Brooklyn. Kyrie, come on now. If you're fighting with the fans, we all know how that ends. Come on now. Good.
All right, so the Bucks and Bulls both actually struggled in Game 1. But the Bucks came out on top with Giannis obviously being dominant as he usually is. Is this how it's going to be? Is Giannis just going to dominate the rest of the series?
No.
What?
I
no.
think the Bulls can get at least 2 games under the
2
belt.
games?
I'm
I
saying
quit.
Bucks.
I quit. I quit.
I'm just saying.
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Because we want something
That is
interesting. Do y'all
ridiculous.
really think Chicago is just gonna let the Bucks sweep them?
When DeMar
I don't know
DeRozan
what
couldn't
you think
shoot a
Chicago
basketball
is.
into the ocean
Come on.
Game 1, no
Toronto,
way.
Nobody can
DeMar.
stop Giannis.
Let's not even get into that.
Who
We're
can
not even
stop
gonna talk
Giannis
about
really
that.
quickly?
Okay, hold
We're
on.
not
Who on
even
the
talking
Bulls?
about that.
Who on the Bulls
No
can
one
stop
on the
Giannis?
Bulls. No one on the Bulls. But the empty statement that no one can stop Giannis is
Who?
bizarre.
Tell
we
me
don't
who
have
can stop
we don't have
Giannis.
enough time. Emily's telling you we don't have enough
All
time.
right,
for
all
mine
right,
to
all
go
right.
off on that one.
Well, the 76ers have
Thank you.
surprisingly looked dominant over the Raptors.
The real MVP.
So will the
Stop
Raptors
right
find a way
now.
to stop Embiid, or is the dynamic duo the truth?
Nah, 76ers is definitely the truth.
Yeah, they're good.
They're really
even
good.
talked about the Raptors. Poor Drake.
I think the Raptors can come back. Matisse Thybulle's not playing in Toronto. He's not vaccinated, so.
No.
I think-
Scotty
I think-
out? No.
Oh, that's true. Scotty is out.
Nah,
Well,
yeah,
no matter how
Sixers.
these series may end, there will be only one final winner. So to wrap it up, who do you guys think will be the NBA champion
Dun,
this
dun,
year?
dun, dun, dun. I gotta go with the Suns. I think we might actually see the Suns in Milwaukee again.
Absolutely.
And I think the Suns are gonna come out on top. You know, everyone knows. They're just like, I mean, I haven't been wrong about a national championship team. I haven't been able to say it, but South Carolina, I told you so. So I'm going with the Suns.
layup.
We're
Most
gonna
layup
see.
pick ever. Like, be
No, but I
original.
think the Suns actually will be able to learn from their mistakes of last season, do a little bit more, and I think Cameron Johnson getting more minutes this season will help them in the long run. But we need Jay Crowder too.
Well, we
Wake
know who
up.
Jackson is going to pick, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
that's
mine
the
first.
actual-
Death, Texas,
So with
and Maya
the
taking
Warriors
easiest team to
is
pick.
my favorite.
And
If
you
Jordan
actually
Poole
chose the
continues to
Bucks.
play this way, good luck to anyone in their way. Steph, nearly unstoppable. Jordan Poole has sometimes looked like the best player on the floor. Clay is finding himself again, lights out shooter, and he is a plus defender once again. Draymond somehow slowing down Jokic, which we didn't think was possible, but he's playing like his old DPOY self. I think this team's chemistry is going to be too much for anybody to handle. This is the best they've looked since KD has been there, in my opinion, and
Well, yeah,
I
this
think
is the
they're going
first
to be
time
legit.
people are healthy since KD has been there.
Right, I like the Warriors. I like the Warriors a lot this year.
Don't let the Milwaukee Bucks get clicking, ladies and gentlemen, 'cause it is going to be a very long playoffs for you guys. If this team gets rolling, they will roll through the Bulls. It doesn't really matter who they play. They'll win the next series in 6, either if it's the Nets or the Celtics.
Ooh.
And then you don't want the Bucks to play the Heat again, do you? Do we have to show again that the Bucks are better than the Heat? Do we have to do this whole song and dance again? I think it will be Phoenix, and I think it will be Milwaukee, and I think it will be that way for the next 2 or 3 years.
Oh.
These two teams aren't going
What?
anywhere.
What are
Well,
you
let's hold on.
talking
Let's not
about?
forget that if Kevin Durant didn't have one shoe size too big last year, then Bucks are going home. So
What happened?
Nah,
though?
but the Bucks really played their heart out. I can't even take that away from
I
them.
love the
But
Bucks.
think
The
you're
Bucks are
crazy.
the
It's gonna be
championship.
the
They
next
won the
playoff in 2 to 3
championship.
well,
years.
that is all the time we have this week. But as always, remember to check out our Instagram for the best bonus content you could ask for. Enjoy these next few weeks of sports, and without further ado, from our cast to you, have a great week.